So when we went into slavery on slave ships, they ruined us. Because what's your last name now? Grant. What's your last name? Lomax. These are now our slave names, rather than taking on our God-given name as the Israelites.
Right.
You understand? They ruined us because now our young princesses dress like their women. Their women are not important. Their women aren't as beautiful as ours are. Watch this. As men, we don't stand up as bold. We don't speak loud like Christ anymore. Matter of fact, when we do speak loud like Christ, we got everybody against us. They saying, oh, those niggas over there speaking too loud. What kind of liberation are they talking about? We didn't know that our image was in the Bible. These your children?
No.
Do you look at them and care for them in this neighborhood like they are though?
Yeah.
You do? And that's how we got to get back to community. So we forgot who we are. We are the Israelites according to the Bible.
Right.
That's who we are. We are the most special people to God.
Yes.
But because we lost track of that, because we spend more time in the hands of our enemy rather than in the hands of our own people, we begin to hate ourselves because we lose connection. That's what's happened in the black community. So when we teach about color in the Bible, it's to revive your understanding that you are who the Bible is talking about. We are those special people, those chosen people. And you know why other nations hate that? Because we're liberating ourselves. We were talking about this earlier. The way that we teach the Bible, say it again.
We on top.
We have always been the top nation.
Yeah.
But what happened to us to where we're at the bottom of society? What happened? What changed?
We failed. We didn't listen to Most High.
Watch it. You're correct.
Yeah.
You're correct. Get Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Because we're going to show what good God gave to us, but we lost track of it. And I'm going to show y'all some ways that we can fix it. You understand? All right, let's read.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 5.
Go ahead.
Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments.
So God taught us as his children, his favorite people. He taught us statutes and judgments. Judgments mean you know good and evil. You know how to declare good and evil, right? So watch this. Is this imagery good or evil? Based on what we read out of the Bible. Is this the right image of Jesus? No. So is it good or evil? Evil. But evil is all in the church. Evil is all in society. It's all on TV.
Right.
So we even got to look at what we see on TV as some of it is not good for us because it's destroying our mind, destroying the good nature that's within us. Read on.
Even as the Lord my God commanded me.
You hear that? My. If something is yours, you would say that's mine. We're the only people who have a God. Everybody else on the earth have made up a God. That's why they had to use him and say, that's God, that's Jesus. They had to make it up. They don't have a God. We're the only ones who have one, and we look just like him. Read on.
That ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
But what happened is, when we didn't do it, we were the possessions in this land. What do we call this? Slavery. So when we stopped doing God's laws, we were made the possessions rather than going into all the lands and possessing it and ruling over it. Do y'all understand that? So if we became slaves, were we doing good by God or doing evil? Evil. She gonna be with you 90% of your life. And y'all gonna have to overcome problems together. You see how we talking about community building? We have issues, but when we go to the scriptures to hash out the issues, that's freedom. We know how to operate like our forefathers did. That's the wisdom that comes with the statutes and judgments. You understand? Yes, go back to let's make this point. Read on.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 6.
Go ahead.
Keep therefore and do them.
So the same, you see how we just gave basic laws. He was honest in a short span of time. Giving the truth don't take long to understand. It just takes time to apply it and learn to value it. So as a people, we got to come back to keeping God's laws because it makes us wise. Read on.
For this is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nation.
So when the other nations saw how we dealt with one another, dealt with ourselves, we had that moral and civil law, how they couldn't defile us with their doctrine, they said, this is a wise and powerful people right here. Read on.
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Do they say that about us nowadays? No, because we're doing the exact opposite. Get John 8, verse 32. We have to understand the ways of liberation, freedom. Because if we don't free ourselves, we're going to always be in the clutches of our enemy. And they always have new ways to oppress us. One of the greatest ways to oppress a people, inflation. Why? Why would you say that? What will that cause us to do as a people?
Some people gonna steal, some people gonna rob. It's gonna make you see.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So now, instead of finding honest ways to make a living, now I can exploit the people because they have to go get the money with my face on.
Exactly.
Watch this, read.
This is the book of John, chapter 8 and verse 32.
Go ahead.
And ye shall know the truth,
Go ahead.
and the truth shall make you free.
So this is why we're teaching the scriptures, the statutes and the judgments to our people. Because watch this. If we got to protect him, how much more do we have to protect her? You see, if he's going to be the one for the future to set things back in order, what about the things that attract her, that get her out of order? And watch this. Who's the hardest person within our nation to get back in order? Our sister. Because they are the weaker vessel. And guess what? In today's society on TV, who do they advertise things to the most? The woman. Why? Because their whole supreme system, when we say white supremacy, we know that they're in rulership.
Exactly.
So when we read out of the Bible that we have to set the nation back in order, we got to make sure that we're teaching correctly to protect our young as well as the aged from all the deception. Does that make sense? Read it again.
This is the book of John, chapter 8 and verse 32.
Go ahead.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
You see that? The Bible is saying you must speak the truth. You should know the truth so that you don't live like a slave anymore. You understand? So when you lie, you're still a slave. You're still bound to society. Read on. We're going to show you how you get bound to society. Read.
They answered him, we be Abraham's seed.
So yes, we are from the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So it's like, brush off. Don't tell us. Don't correct us. That's that hard-headed nature in us.
Yeah.
We get comfortable being in that condition. Read.
And were never in bondage to any man.
So a lot of our people will say, well, that's old. Why y'all always talking about slavery? We wasn't never in bondage to nobody. I ain't never had no chains and shackle around my neck and my arms and my feet. What you talking? You're exactly correct. The shackle is on your mind. Our minds are so consumed in America, we don't realize how much consumed in evil and corrupt nature that we in, that we just got comfortable. We're comfortable being a base nation. Read on.
Ye shall be made free. Jesus answered them, verily, verily, I say unto you,
Go ahead.
whosoever committeth sin is a servant of sin.
So you're in bondage to your sin. You're a slave to sin. The sin in this society is ran by the devil himself, the so-called white man. This government is ran by, that's why when we talk about, and forget that in, what is it, Isaiah 10? Isaiah 10 verse 1. Because, did you go vote?
No.
You did vote. Because you know the scripture about not voting, right? But when our people vote, and they get caught up in the system, and then they say, well, the system's going to do this for us, and the system's going to do that for us, and then they get around their table, the Senate or the House of Representatives, or just the elite circle. What they do is draw up something totally different.
Than what they've said.
And God already knew that. You know what I mean? Read on.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 10 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees.
So God is going to destroy America. God is going to destroy all of these kingdoms that made us slaves, that taught us lies. He's going to destroy them because they tried to destroy our mindset with images like this and false teaching.
Right.
God said, but it came through unrighteous decrees. unrighteous mandates, unrighteous laws being passed. Because those laws are only meant to oppress us. So what do you think we have to do?
Going back to the law, statutes, commandments.
Right. So what are some laws that we should be keeping while we await that redemption?
Keep the Sabbath.
Keep the Sabbath.
Yeah.
Have you kept the Sabbath before?
Yeah, I have.
Do you keep it? You kind of hesitated.
No, I mean, I don't, because like I said, I was explaining to my brother,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, they make you work on the Sabbath. And a lot of people on the job is waking up.
Right.
And they do it on purpose. I think they do it on purpose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And they're going to advertise. Watch this. You ever notice that on the Sabbath day, they give you time and a half, regardless of double time, because they want it to look fashionable.
Yeah.
They want to pitch it to you because at the end of the day, get Judith 5:19.
Yeah.
They know what laws we should be keeping.
Exactly.
They know we're in a time of awakening to righteousness. And they're going to do everything to say, well, prices got to go up. And you know, well, I guess you should just work on the Sabbath day, or Saturday. You know, I know we canceled the job Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but I need you to come in on Saturday.
Exactly.
I send you home early on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Come make it up.
But then on Saturday,
Come make it.
Friday night, you got to come in. I'm going to give you a full shift. I'm going to give you 14 hours. That's how evil this society is in destroying us. You understand that? They're going to put you in situations where you make, for instance, with our young ladies, that OnlyFans, that's an unrighteous decree from our enemy themselves to put our young women on. They say it's the easy way out. Just show your body.
Bring it out.
But we got to worry about our daughter
Exactly.
getting caught up in that.
Exactly.
You understand? And who's mainly on that? Our women. What I got you over? Read.
This is the book of Judah, chapter 5 and verse 19.
Go ahead.
But now are they returned to their God,
So we have to return to our God. Read.
and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is.
So our sanctuary, our homeland is Jerusalem. How did we leave our homeland? We went into slavery on slave ships. You know that history says? So we got to fill everybody in just to make sure. We got scattered away from our homeland. But this is what our enemies know about us. They know how beautiful we are. They know how intelligent we are. And they're going to do everything to keep us away from our beauty, our God-given name, and our heritage. Read.
And are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor,
Go ahead.
if there be any error in this people,
If there be any error or sin in this people, for instance, young princess, did you know that you're supposed to be wearing a dress according to God? Did you know that? And when we don't know that, guess what God calls that? Sin. So as a princesses always wear dresses, right? Because they're the most beautiful, they're the most noble, everybody knows them, right? But most importantly, God made you a princess.
right?
You understand? And we got to fight for that. We got to teach that, so that even our daughters, our sons, aren't found in sin when the Lord comes back. Read on.
Now therefore, my Lord and Governor,
Uh-huh.
if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their God,
So sin against our God, and the other nations are watching us.
Yeah.
Read on.
let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
Their ruin. What does it mean to ruin something?
Let's say I went to my sister's room
Uh-huh.
and tore up something that wasn't mine,
Right?
and I ruined it.
You ruined it. Because what it was at first, in its glory, in its beauty, it's no longer that. So when we went into slavery on slave ships, they ruined us. Because what's your last name now? Grant. What's your last name? Lomax. These are now our slave names, rather than taking on our God-given name as the Israelites.
Right.
You understand? They ruined us, because now our young princesses dress like their women.
Exactly.
Their women are not important. Their women aren't as beautiful as ours are. Watch this. As men, we don't stand up as boldly. We don't speak loud like Christ anymore. Matter of fact, when we do speak loud like Christ, we got everybody against us. They saying, oh, those niggas over there speaking too loud. What kind of liberation are they talking about? They don't want that. They don't want us to stand up like godly people. They don't want us to stand up and profess our godly understanding. So my brother right here, what we're going into right now is our nationality. The hatred of the other nations against us, so much so, this is how they do us. Watch this. They will feel a certain way about us, and then they will deflect their emotion on us. So watch this. You know they call us teaching who we are, like our identity, they call that hate speech. They call us black identity extremists. They call our organization or the regathering of our people, they call it a hate group. But we've taught our daughter how beautiful she is. We've talked about gathering together and building our community. What is so hateful about that? What would you say is hateful about that? Yeah. But what happens is our enemies, they're losing their grasp on us. They always want to have their hands on us. That's why they put chains and shackles on us. Because outside of the chains and shackles, who's stronger? We are. Right. By nature. Let's get that Deuteronomy 7:6.
Bring it out.
Because what we just read was showing if we're in sin with God, the other nations know that we will be ruined as a people. So when I ask you your nationality, what is your nationality? Like your race. What is your race? African American. I'm going to show you how we got ruined because of our sin. Just simply by your name. These are the names that God gave us from the beginning. First off, our nation's name is, we are the Israelites. But in slavery, they called the tribe of Judah Negroes or American black. You see how destroyed that is? What does black mean?
Teach.
What does black mean?
Bring it out.
It means void. It always has a negative connotation. It's synonymous for sin, right. Darkness, right? But what does Judah mean? Anybody know?
Prince.
Nope. Israel means prince that has power with God. You close, you close. But Judah means God's praise. You want to know why? We're God's praise. We're the first ones to wake up to liberate the other tribes. Right. In waking up, our job on earth is to go gather the other blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans across the earth and teach them the true gospel. Yes. And God is going to, when we acknowledge God, he's going to strengthen our hand to go make it happen. You understand? So even though the white man wants us to be weak, God is going to strengthen our hand because it was already ordained to be so according to the name that God gave us. So read what you got.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6.
Go ahead.
For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So you hear that? That was written to talk to you. God said he made you special, chosen, and your place in this world is to be above all people. You and your people are above all nations. So why does the black man ask for equality?
Bring it out.
If we're supposed to be above everybody, why do we ask for equality? If we're above and equality, you come down. That makes sense? So your job, get that in Deuteronomy 33. I'm going to show you as the tribe of Judah. Because what we teach is identity. Because with your identity, you're going to learn your purpose. Right? So watch this.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 7.
Go ahead.
And this is the blessing of Judah.
This is the blessing. When we disobey God, there are curses. Do you recognize this curse right here? We use a lot of signs and a lot of pictures because our history is in the Bible. This is a curse. Us going into slavery, do you recognize this curse? Going into cargo slave ships, right? Going into captivity on cargo slave ships, having yokes of iron upon our neck, being whipped, mocked, and ridiculed. You understand that? Mocked and murdered.
Bring it out.
Read.
And he said, Hear, Lord, the voice of Judah.
Hear, Lord, the voice of Judah. I'm from the tribe of Judah. You want to know why the Lord is hearing our voice? Because we're out here in the streets teaching our people. Watch this. Who else did the Lord of our people? Who are some notable American blacks whose voice the Lord heard? Name some. Y'all know any famous black men leaders? What about Martin Luther King?
Right.
Malcolm X, Medgar Evers. Marcus Garvey is Benjamin. Marcus Garvey is Benjamin. Paul Vogel is Benjamin too. But watch this. They're under the kingdom of Judah too, because they were teaching liberation to their people.
Right.
They might have missed the full understanding of the scriptures, but they had that spirit in them to go out and wake up their people.
That's
so
right.
how much more so with those examples should we be aiming to do that right now? Because guess what? I know you're on the phone, but this is the last go round.
Right. Right.
This is our last captivity.
That's right.
So if we don't liberate ourselves and understand the truth of the Bible now, we're going to have the same destruction as our enemies. God is going to justify us in these last days. And guess who's at the forefront of doing that? The tribe of Judah. And we're going to wake up our other brothers, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans across the four corners of the earth to repent, come back to keeping God's laws, and redeem the nation.
That's right.
You understand? Finish that off.
And bring him unto his people.
Bring him to his people. So we'll go into these lands and wake up our people. That's our God-given ordination. That's what our purpose is. Read on.
And let his hands be sufficient for him.
So the same way that the so-called white man wants to weaken us, God said, let his hand be sufficient. Give him enough to go out and do his job.
That's right.
So that's why we, how the old folks say, how we got over.
Yes.
By trusting in the Lord, that's how we get over those oppressions. That's how we get over the colonization. That's how we get over the broken household. That's how we get over the broken spirit.
Right.
God is going
right.
to make us sufficient through his word.
That's
Matter of fact,
right.
his word, 107 and 20. Psalm 107 and 20. I think that's what I want. So the Lord is healing us in the last days. So watch this. What is he healing us from? That would be the question. I know you're new to the conversation. What do we have to be healed from for our voice to be heard and be made sufficient? Do you know? You don't? Sin.
Right.
That sin brought us to ruin. That sin put us in slavery.
Right.
That sin has destroyed our community.
That's right.
So we have to be healed from that by obeying God's word. Read what you got.
Psalms chapter 107 and verse 20.
Go ahead.
He sent his word and healed them.
And healed them. So now it's healing you because now she knows she's a princess. She knows her God-given name. She's an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. You know that because guess what? At the end of the day, when judgment comes, you need to know your tribe name. There's a gate in heaven for you. So the gate that say Judah, that's the one you got to walk through. You understand? I'm sure the angels will redirect you if you go to the wrong one. But you need to know what is required of you. Get that in Deuteronomy 10. You need to know what's required because watch this. Did you know while we're praying and prophesying, you see none of the men have their heads covered? Meaning like do-rags or hats. That's because there's a law in the Bible that constitutes that. For our young princess, she should have her head covered in reverence of the men. You see how God is ordering us? So watch this. Knowing that, we can even get that for you. But just hearing that, enlightening yourself, what should you do? You should take off your do-rag while we're in the scriptures to give reverence to the black Messiah. You understand?
Right.
Yeah. I know. And we're going to go to it. I got you. Let's get what we are required to do. These things are not optional. Your bloodline, you can't choose your bloodline, can you? So the laws that apply to our bloodline, our lineage, we can't choose those either. Either you're going to do them and live or not do them and continue to be a slave. Point blank period. Read what you got.
Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12.
Go ahead.
And now, Israel, what does the Lord thy God require of thee?
Requirements. I like asking the young lady. When something is required of you, what does that mean?
So if someone asks you to do something, but they're telling you to do it.
Right. God has put the commandments in front of us. You smart. You all right. You probably got good grades on your report card, did you? I can tell. She know her definitions and stuff. But God put the commandments on the table. He said, you read this. hear what I'm saying to you, and I'm going to test what you do. So there are requirements for us to inherit the kingdom of heaven. A lot of times in the Christian church, underneath the hand of the white man, they say, well, the laws are done away with. You can just pray, God forgive me, and you get into heaven. Okay, well, why can't I get into the country club like that? What? Mr. White Man, let me in the country club. I make just as much money as you do. No, you don't have the right ticket, meaning the right skin color, meaning we don't want you in here unless you're really one of those ones that we can manipulate. You understand that?
No.
So that's their theology, the one that keeps us trapped. But God is saying, I require these things in your liberation, under your understanding of me and rescuing, how he's going to rescue us. Read.
But to fear the Lord thy God.
Go ahead.
To walk in all his ways.
So can we choose what we do for the Lord? But based on what that said, can we choose what we do for the Lord? Or is all of it required of us? All is required of us in these last days. We don't?
And to love him and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
So what does that mean? What does that mean? Who you on the phone with? They distracted me. Who you on the phone with?
Who I'm on the phone with?
Yeah, they listening?
Yeah, they is.
Okay, good. Tell them the moral of the story is to repent, change our ways. We are the Israelites. You understand? To read that last part again.
But to fear the Lord thy God.
We got to learn to fear God. Listen, hearken, obey. Read on.
To walk in all his ways.
Walk in all his ways. Read on.
And to love him and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart.
Go ahead.
And with all thy soul.
Go ahead.
To keep the commandments of the Lord
Uh-huh.
and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
Go ahead.
For thy good.
For thy what?
For thy good.
So when we keep the commandments, it's for our good. So the fact that you took off your do-rag in honor of Christ, that is a good thing. The fact that she knows her identity, that's a good thing. Guess what, sis?
Right.
Wear your dress. Matter of fact, let's get Numbers 15. Let's get Numbers 15. So when you just go talk, hey mama, I learned I'm a princess in the Bible. I need to wear dresses all the time. It's a beautiful thing. You understand? And as fathers, we got to teach those things. Because guess what's polluting our community? Cross-dressing. That confuses the role of the man and the woman. Therefore, if the role of the man and the woman is confused, guess what also gets confused? The structure of the household. Matter of fact, I want that. Numbers 15. Let's deal with the structure of the household before we get the clothing. You understand? You with me? You got a wife? You married?
Yeah.
Married? No? Let's read that.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3.
Go ahead.
But I would have you know
Go ahead.
that the head of every man is Christ.
The head of every Israelite man is Christ. A black man. The black Messiah.
That's
He
right.
is our example of how we redeem our people. He
That's
already
right.
laid down his life, so guess what's required of us? To lay down our lives, lay down the sin, lay down the obscurities of our mind, and redeem our people by going out and teaching them God's truth. Read on.
Right.
And the head of the woman is the man.
So, little sis, your daddy is your head until you get a husband. You understand? You reverence your father like you reverence God. Technically, your daddy is God in your house.
That's right.
And when you get a husband, he is your Lord. He's going to save your soul. So watch this. Is there equality in the Bible?
You asking me?
Yeah. Before you leave, because this is the point we're making. Is there equality with anything in the Bible? No. There is no equality amongst nations. We are better than all nations created.
Right.
There's no equality between the men of our nation with Christ. There's no equality between the women of our nation with us.
Right.
We all have a role. If we are moving away from that role, like for instance, you say you're not married. Why aren't you married? What is your idea? I'll start here. What is your idea of marriage? Holler at me real quick. Just 2 minutes. I want to have this conversation with you just before you leave.
I want to find the right woman for me.
You want to find the right woman for you. Okay. So what do you think God is requiring of you to do for that to be so?
Work on myself.
Work on yourself like what? It's a lot. So what should be the first thing you should be aiming to do? Because watch this. This is why you would need to beware. Get that in Sirach 26 and 23. God is giving us his wisdom so that we can inherit good things. So if you're saying that I want a good woman, I'm waiting on the right woman, guess what? You got to know where the good women are.
Right.
You got to know what the difference between a good woman is and a bad woman is.
That's right.
You got to know how to look at her through the lens of various scriptures. Proverbs 31, 1 Timothy 5, 1 Peter 3. You got to know these things so that you can see that quality in her and say, okay, I can work with her. I can have a family with her. I can build her up to be my wife and have my children. You understand? Read that.
The book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26 and verse 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
You hear that? So wicked Negroes get wicked women. Guess what they create? Toxic relationships. All because they avoid keeping God's laws. They don't do the requirements. They don't even know what the requirements are. Read the next part.
But a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord.
A godly woman will be given to a man that feareth the Lord.
What is a nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word